Hello all, in this section we'll be seeing some basic tags in HTML. Okay, so before going to this basic tags, first I want you all to create a small folder in desktop. Maybe you can give it as project. Okay, and just create some 3 subfolders. One as audio, another folder video. Okay, fine. And open a notepad, a basic notepad that we get in the Windows. Okay, just save this file, save as, and save this. Go to desktop again, go to project. So inside this project folder, just save, give it name as index. Okay, index or anything. Okay, file1 or file2, anything. So index.html. The extension of the HTML file will be .html, and give all files and save. Okay, so what happens is like a basic page will be created there. So if you open with the Chrome, okay, so what you can see is okay, it is a empty page, empty document, and you can see the name of the file here, index.html. Okay, so this section, the white section which you see, is the body part. So whatever formatted content will be displayed here. Okay, so so before going to tags, you have to create a folder in the desktop or any drive, and inside the folder just create 2 subfolders, one audio, another is video, and after that just open a notepad and save that notepad into the project folder as index or any name you want, and kindly don't give space. Okay, like for example index space 1, just give index, okay, or index 1, don't give space. Okay, .html. So that your file will be here. Okay, so we will be coding all these things inside this. Okay, so before going to tags, I'll explain about some basic information on tags. Okay, fine. So in HTML document we have 2 kinds of tags. Okay, one is a pair tag, another is called as a non-pair tag. Okay, so pair tag is like you have an opening tag. I'm mentioning the syntax. Okay, you have opening tag, and the tag name will be written inside angle brackets, and you'll be having a closing tag, and in the closing tag you will be having an angle bracket less than symbol followed by a /, and you can give us the, I can give the tag name. Again you can close it using the closing tag. Okay, and you can give some content here. Okay, so this is the opening tag, and followed by some data content to be formatted, some data content, right, and the closing tag. So what happens here is that the property of the tag will be applied to the content which is written in between the tag. The property of the tag will be applied to the content. Once the property gets applied to the content, then this content is called as affected content. Affected content, like it is affected by the properties of the tag. Okay, and when you see the output, the property will be applied to the content, and the formatted content will be displayed on the screen. Okay, so that's called as the affected content. So you have an opening tag and a closing tag. Okay, so you'll be using the angle brackets for pair tag. So this is called as the pair tag. And second is the, so normally in HTML we'll be using pair tags. Okay, for formatting the contents and structuring the contents we'll be using the pair tags. Okay, now we'll be seeing non-pair tags. Okay, so non-pair tags, the structure, how the non-pair tag will look like the tag name will be there, followed by a space and a forward symbol and a closing tag. So you can't see an opening tag or a closing tag here. Okay, so that's why it's called as a non-pair tag. Okay, like for examples, you have a sentence and you need to break that sentence, and you need to show the rest of the sentence in the next line. You can use like BR tag. Okay, we'll be seeing that in a minute. And so those tags are can be called as the non-pair tags. Okay, so you have pair tags and non-pair tags. Fine. Okay, We are going to the basic tags. The first tag what we are seeing here will be the heading tags. Okay, side by side I'll code also, so that you'll also be able to see. Okay, so as said, we have different tags. We have different kinds of size tags which is used inside HTML. So the available heading tags are h1 to h6. Okay, for example, like here we have an HTML program. So we have the doc type section or the document type declaration section. Then we have the head section, and then we have the body section. So inside the body section, we have h1 to h6. So if you look here, this is a pair tag h1, h2 is another pair tag h3, and so on so to h6. Okay, so when you save this, okay, so I'll type this, we'll save it and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'll give, okay, it's not necessary that you need to give the doc type declaration. It is optional. Okay, so whenever you code, it's not necessary that every time. Okay, it's not necessary that you give the doc type declaration. Okay, so the HTML opening closing, and inside the HTML opening closing, I'm giving the head. Okay, so inside the head I'll give title tag, and I'm going to create step by step. I'll create a basic website, about Kerala. Okay, so this is a basic website just using the HTML. So I'll give this is Kerala tourism. Okay, so I'll give this Kerala tourism. Okay, fine. And then what I'll do is like I'll give the body. Sorry. So actually this is not case sensitive. If you give a body and uppercase or lowercase, it'll automatically consider. But it's always good to give in smaller case. Okay. So body tag. Okay. So inside this body tag, I'm mentioning like h1. Okay. Like Kerala tourism. Okay. Since we are learning the h1 tag, what I'll do is like I'll copy and I'll show you the difference. Okay. One Kerala tourism, I'll put it outside the tag. Okay, and what I'll do is like I'll copy paste first. Sorry, I'll copy paste this and then we'll make the modification. H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Fine, and I'll change to H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. And here also I'll change to H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. Fine. And I'll just give it a Control S such that it will be saved onto inside my folder. Okay, so I've already opened this index.html. I'll just give it a refresh, and you can see the output. So this Kerala tourism was not put inside any tag. So what happened was like it actually didn't get any property of any tag because there wasn't any tag there to apply to give its property to that content. So that's why it doesn't have any property being applied. But if you see Kerala tourism here, this was mentioned inside the h1 tag. So what happened was like the property of h1 has been applied to the content in between the h1 tag, and you can see the size got a bit bigger and the contents are being made somewhat bolder. Okay, so if you see h2, it has become some more like the size has gone smaller, and the bold, the effect of the bold has also been gone lesser. Okay, so if you mention like h3, h4, h5, h6, you can see the size will goes lower, and the bold, the effect of the boldness has also been gone lesser. Okay, so this is what happens, okay, in h1 tag. So you can actually use h1 for giving main headings, and you can give h2 to h6 tags for giving subheadings if you want. Okay, like if you have one, you can give Kerala tourism 1.1, 1.1.1. Likewise, you can use different heading tags for giving different subheadings. So what I'll do is like I'll remove this Kerala tourism, and I'll just remove the other Kerala tourism. So we are going actually side by side. We'll be creating a small basic website with what we learned. Okay, so the first tag which we have learned is the heading tag. So we have h1 to h6 tags available here. Okay, so this is the output what you get. Okay, fine. Now the next is your paragraph tag. Okay, so paragraph tag, when you consider paragraph tag, you will be using the p tag. And inside the p tag you will be having some, you will be mentioning some contents. Okay, you can mention some contents, and you can give actually some paragraphs inside the p tag. Okay, so we'll just see how the p tag will work. Okay, so what I'll do is, like, I'll go to Wikipedia, I'll go to Google, and I'll type maybe Kerala Wikipedia, and I'll just copy some content, text content, for pasting inside my paragraph tag. So I'm just taking some random content. I'll take this much. Okay, I'll copy this content such that I need not type. Okay, so I'll go back to the same old index page. I'll give opening and closing paragraph tag, and I'll paste the entire content which I've copied from the, I'll just give content from the Wikipedia. Okay, so a paragraph tag for presenting paragraph, you can use the p tag. So I'm coming back to my website index, and I'm refreshing it. So what happened was, like, we have actually, you can see the contents have come on the website. Okay, fine. So paragraph tag, for giving a paragraph, you can use the p tag. Okay, so on the go, we'll be modifying this things. Okay, so I'll close this Kerala Wikipedia. So first tag which we used was h1 tag. The second tag was the paragraph tag. Okay, fine. So using paragraph, you can actually give paragraph. You can format the paragraph and you can display it on the screen. Okay, now you have something called as the line break tag. Okay, so line break tag, or the BR tag, is actually a non-pair tag. So why I call it as a non-pair tag is that it doesn't have an opening tag and a closing tag. For example, if I'm going to mention this, I'm going to put this BR tag in between Kerala and tourism. Okay, I'll give okay, and I'll go back to the same page and I'll refresh it. Okay, so what happened was, like, tourism came on to the next line, right? So if you want to break something in a line, and if you want to show it in the next line, you can actually use a BR tag. Okay, so I'm removing that BR tag for the time being. Okay, that's encoding error. Okay, so BR tag, fine. Now if I want to send something, so if you look at the output, so I'll refresh the output, that BR, have removed the BR. So if you look at the output, my Kerala tourism is coming on the left side of my margin, and if I want to bring it onto the center, I can use the sender tag. Okay, so there is something called as the sender tag, so CENTER. Okay, and to what content should I be applying the sender property? So that should be mentioned within the sender. Okay, tag. So I write the closing tag after Kerala tourism, and I'll go back and I'll refresh. Okay, to continue, and I'll go back and I'll refresh. So we can see the Kerala tourism which has come on the center. Okay, so using sender tag, you can actually group contents to the center of the page. Okay, at the moment there is no left tag and right tag. You have to apply it using the attributes, which we'll be seeing in a minute. Okay, now the next thing is the horizontal line. So if you want to split up sections in a web page, you can actually give a small line. Okay, a small transparent line. Okay, so for that you use the HR. So horizontal lines are used to visually break up sections of a document. For that we use HR tag. So we'll give the HR tag in our code, and we'll see. So I'm giving HR. Okay, there. Okay, so I'm giving HR there. After the sender tag, I'm giving the HR. So we'll see. Okay, we'll see what happens. We'll go to the Chrome and I'll refresh and see. Okay, so what happens is that a line has come over here, and I'll do one thing. I'll give a line after the content also. Okay, because you're trying to create a small basic website using the basic HTML tag. So I'll give HR. So HR is also a non-pair tag. Okay, so why is called a non-pair tag? Because it doesn't have a closing tag. Fine. Okay, even if you can give properties to the HR, but you cannot. It doesn't have a closing tag. So I've centered. So I've used H1 tag here, then HR tag here. I've used sender tag. I've used paragraph tag, P tag. Okay, fine. Okay, now we have something called as preserve formatting. Okay, or the PRE tag. Okay, so what the PRE tag does is, so I'll give a small example of what actually this PRE tag does. Okay, so after this HR, I'll just show you what this does. Okay, so I'll give a p tag first, and I'll write Kerala Godson country, Godson country. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll give it a I've kept the country in the next line. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing using a PRE tag. I'll just rename the P to PRE. Okay, P to PRE. I'll refresh. I'll save this, and we'll go back to our Chrome and we'll refresh. So what happened was, like, if you see here, what happened was, like, I've just zoomed the document. When I gave the Kerala Godson country in the P tag, the font which was taken was Times New Roman. Even though I've mentioned the country in the next line, the country automatically everything came in single line. Okay, like you see in code here, I've mentioned the country next line. But when you're using the P tag, country came in the same line. But when you used PRE tag, the formatting was preserved. The formatting was preserved. So country was mentioned in the second line, so it automatically came in the second line. So PRE tag is actually used for formatting, preserve formatting. Okay, preserve the formatting. Okay, that is the use of the PRE tag. Okay, I'll reload this and I'll just reduce the size to 100% or 110%. Fine. Okay, so that is the use of the PRE tag for preserving the formatting. Okay, so preserve formatting, you will be using the PRE tag. Okay, then we have something called as the non-breaking spaces. As we know, we can actually give spaces to some content using the space key, right? So if I want to give some space to my Kerala tourism, I can give using my space key. Okay, and I'll go and I'll refresh and show you what happens. There will be some sometimes it will show space, sometimes it don't show space. Okay, so what happened was, like, the space didn't come properly. Okay, if I'll give it another I'll show you. Okay, so I'll use I'll give this space here. Okay, and I'll save it again, and I will refresh and we'll see. Okay, what happens. Okay, so if you see here, a space has come over here. Okay, I've given the space using the space key. But if you want to give space, these many number of space, actually I've given that many number of space using space key, but it didn't get reflected on my output. Okay, so if I want to make it get reflect in my output, I need to write ampersand NBSP semicolon. Okay, non-breaking spaces, ampersand NBSP semicolon. So I'll give some 2, 3, 4. Okay. Spaces like that, and I'll refresh, and you can see here I've actually given space not using the space key, but I've actually given the space using the ampersand NBSP semicolon, the non-breaking spaces option. Okay, so what I'll do is, like, I'll keep one space and I'll remove the other. Okay, so if you want to give space in between any words or in between letters, you can actually use ampersand NBSP semicolon. So it will give you some space between the words. Okay, so in the next section we will be seeing about some more tags. Thank you.